What do we have for Sag, please? Wheel of Fortune. Sag, that is your energy at the foundation of the reading. Right now, inside the Sag Collective, it's as if your train has arrived at the central hub and you now have to make your way to a connecting flight. Major karmic cycles have closed out in your life, Sag. Pluto is at 0 degrees Aquarius right now. And this is very significant. Moving forward, everybody's life is going to be completely different. But there's this sort of waiting period. Because we sit at 0 degrees Aquarius for about 30 days. So there's this sort of contemplation and almost review of the past. A lot of memories coming to surface inside the Sag Collective. There's a lot of indecision. There's a lot of second guessing. There's a lot of resistance. It's as if you've arrived at the central hub, you've gotten off your train, and now there you are, sitting on a bench with all your luggage, Sag. You're ready. You're ready to go to your connecting flight. Something's holding you back. The uncertainty of what's to come is overwhelming you. For the first time in a lot of your lives, you're preparing to step into a cycle where you have no idea what's to come. The divine is encouraging you to take a chance and stop trying to play it safe, but rather start aligning with your highest good and go get what's always been yours by divine rights. This is very much what the astrology is teaching us right now. Wheel of Fortune speaks on everything that I just mentioned. It represents a turning point. It represents life cycles. It represents your destiny, Sag. And as we can see, we have all your angels here taking notes in your Akashic records. And then we have, maybe these are fallen angels also taking notes. The devil underneath the wheel here. So there's a representation of light and dark, good and evil. It's like you're at the precipice of change. You're at the precipice of ascension, elevation into this new life cycle. But here you are, you've arrived and you're feeling unsure. You're wondering if maybe it would be better just to go back and play it safe. Go back to what you've always known. Because the idea of taking a chance, stepping into the unknown is very overwhelming to you. But here's the thing, Sag. You could do that. However, because of this astrology, playing it safe and going back to what you've always known no longer exists. That has now become the unknown. Moving forward and stepping out on faith and stepping into the unknown is now the safe zone. What was once up is now down, and what was once down is now up. It's a complete reality shift, a complete paradigm shift taking place inside the collective. This is the divine's way of encouraging you to push forward. Align with these dreams, this true heart's desire that's calling you from within, which is just another way of speaking about your mission, your purpose, the destiny that you were sent here to fulfill. You know, people like to separate all of those things. People like to create confusion. I'm getting a lot of ringing in my ear right now, Sag, my left ear. So this is speaking about a mindset shift that's taking place in your life. You're starting to understand now that those things that are calling you from within are what you need to be chasing, what you need to be going after. Ignoring them doesn't work. Ignoring them is not in alignment with your highest good and your soul's mission. Everybody in the collective is waking up to this now because we've all been in cycles where the individuals that have been playing different roles in our lives have been discouraging all of you from going in that direction. But now you're at the point, Sag, where a lot of truth is being illuminated to you. This is the point where you say, well, why would they put so much effort into keeping me from something if that wasn't the direction that I'm supposed to be going? Exactly. This is where we're at now. There's no more hiding this. It's always been right underneath your nose, but we become so overwhelmed inside these karmic cycles that it's very hard to see the truth, the reality of things. And a lot of the people that were assigned to you to keep you from said mission are close to you, family members, friends, people you dated. So you don't ever really suspect that these individuals would not want you to fulfill your destiny. But the sight that the divine is giving you over your life now is illuminating these truths to you. You're starting to see now what people are really made of. You know, a lot of people sacrificed their purpose, their destiny, their mission in this life cycle for material gain. And a part of the deal was that they also had to keep you and as many other people as possible away from aligning with their purpose. You see, this is a tactic that the devil utilizes, because he himself is fighting a war against the light. The divine sends all of you down here to fulfill a very specific mission. Each one of you has a plan that was written for you before you even came here, and that's the path that you're supposed to be on. But because the devil has his own plan in place, and we are in the devil's territory, Earth, the 3-dimension, the material world, we are behind enemy lines. This is the devil's world. We are at war here. Whether you can see it with the naked eye or not, spiritually speaking, we are at war. So the devil will send his minions to come for you. Use all these people that I mentioned as extensions of his will for your life. But now, because of this particular astrological transit, we are being given the sight to see things now from a higher perspective and have a deeper understanding of how this truly works, Sag. What do we have at the sacral, please? Knight of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy at the sacral. Knight of Swords is all related to lifestyle changes. Here you are, charging towards your connecting flight. The divine's given you the sight to see. It's like you just snap out of something just like that. By having this perspective shift over your life, you awaken. You know, we all live inside this world that is a matrix. It's constructed in a way to keep us in a form of slumber. To stay awake at all times and living in your truth is almost impossible. It's a constant battle. You can see one thing on the news. You can see one thing on your Instagram or TikTok feed, and it has a way of seeping into your subconscious mind and making you feel drowsy again. And before you know it, you're falling back to sleep inside the matrix. In other words, we're constantly being bombarded with distraction. But we have these moments where we come online. We start to remember. You start to feel like you need to catch up to something. That's what it feels like when you begin to wake up, like you need to catch up to something, catch up to your higher self, right? There's our higher self, which is driving us, and then there's our lower self, which is what we all are right now. And life is kind of like walking through a muddy swamp. It's difficult, it's tiring. You always feel like you're about to sink into something. But then when you start to remember what you came here to do, or enough of it, to get moving on your path, you have this kind of jolt of energy. You start to run. You feel like you've missed out on something. This Knight of Swords at this sacral position, I feel is what is going to start flooding through to you as we start getting closer to the 1-degree mark of Pluto and Aquarius, which should be in about 30 days. So for the next 30 days, Sag, there you are, sitting on that bench in the central hub, having a review of your life up until that point. Memories flooding back. Maybe you're beating yourself up over missteps you made in your life. But the divine needs you to understand that you're actually right where you're supposed to be, Sag. You should be having this flood of memories. You should be feeling some regret because you need to forgive yourself now. Because with that forgiveness comes the much needed jolt of energy to get you up off that bench and onto that connecting flight so you can make your way to this new life cycle, which is all in alignment with your soul's path and your purpose. For a lot of you Sages that have been doing the work, by the middle of this year, you will reach a point where you look back at that same time last year and your life would have made a complete shift. Nothing looks the same. For some of you, it could be geographical, but whatever it is, everything is different. A lot of you are being completely uprooted from where you are and moved to a different location. And it doesn't have to be actually physical. It most definitely could be. It's more an example of the energy. It's an example of perception. It's an example of you aligning with your highest self and now moving with a different mindset in place. It's like you're running a new operating system, Sag. This is another way of putting what I'm getting here for you. Wheel of Fortune next to Knight of Swords. This is you moving very quickly towards an entirely new life, however that resonates for you. Whatever it is that you have been trying to align within your life is here. But now, just like that, you have this lingering doubt that's flooded through. Sag, that's nothing short of an energetic attack. Now, whether it's actual people telling you to your face, oh, no, you can't go do that or this or that's not for you, whatever it may be. It's some sort of outdated story that you tell yourself, something deeply embedded, something that people projected onto you, maybe in your childhood, which is now unearthing itself, coming up for review. And now you're having to face this shadow version of yourself. Finally put it down. and not allow it to overwhelm you and stop you from moving forward. Another way of speaking about that little devil that we all have on our shoulder. This is you finally swatting it off your shoulder and shutting it out, whatever that may be for you. What do we have at the solar plexus, please? Five of Wands. Wow. Leo energy right at the solar plexus. This represents everything I just mentioned. Five of Wands is an energy of obstacles. It's an energy of challenges, but it can also be representative of energies that are external to you, that are creating these challenges in your life. I feel that this is indicating the energy that the divine is moving you away from. All the people, places, things inside this old karmic cycle that you're moving on from. That is the old story, and it's time to leave this behind. There's nothing left to see here, Sag. That Knight of Swords is moving very quickly away from that Five of Wands. That Five of Wands is also representative of that energy that is no longer the safe choice. And I don't feel that it was ever a safe choice. It was just what you always knew, okay? Because there's a lot of toxicity that I'm picking up from this cycle, which really speaks about what you may have been just putting up with because you were so used to it. Actually entertaining the idea of going back to a toxic karmic cycle because at least you know what you're going to get. That's what that Five of Wands is representing at that solar plexus position. This is what you're overcoming now. You're in the throes of this at this very moment. When I was speaking about seeing you sitting on that bench at the central hub with all your luggage packed, for some of you that could even be quite literal. You could be packed up and ready to leave from someplace you're at, and there could be some sort of obstacles or challenges that are being thrown on your path last minute. And again, I ask you, why is so much effort going into keeping you from going in that specific direction if that's actually not for you anyway? Don't forget that, Sag. I used to ask myself that same question over and over and over for years and years. And then finally I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I should just go down that path. Nothing left to lose. And boom, everything shifted in my life. It's like an energy of somebody saying, no, you can't go beyond the wall because there's nothing but death and destruction out there. You're just believing what individuals have always told you, but you've never actually seen any of that yourself. And then finally you get to a point where you're just so sick and tired of what you're being given where you're at. You're like, you know what? I think I want to go see for myself. And what you find is it's the complete opposite of death and destruction. You find nothing but happiness and purpose. You start aligning with your highest good and just everything starts falling into place because you finally listen to your higher guidance and shut out all the noise that was external to you. This is what all of that represents. Five of Wands at the solar plexus. You're no longer allowing yourself to feel powerless anymore. You're taking control back over your life. You're driving forward and you're stepping into your personal power. What do we have at the heart, please? Nine of Wands, Sag, that is your energy right at the heart. I knew this card was going to come out. I felt it in the energy. And it's following everything we're putting down here for you, Sag. Here you are, sick and tired. You're like, you know what? I've ran this same toxic karmic cycle 9 times. Nothing's changed. Surely there's got to be a better way. I'm packing it up. I'm going to find out for myself if there's something better out there for me. And none of you are going to stop me. Nine of Wands is all about you keeping people at arm's length, creating a boundary, not allowing people's unsolicited advice, negative projections to seep into your psyche and hold you back any longer. It's time to start persisting forward despite any of these setbacks that have been put on your path. The divine is asking you to be an example, to be a true test of faith. They need you to stand up now, Sag, for yourself and step into this new cycle. Become an example, become an inspiration. Allow them to position you as an individual that was able to harness enough courage to finally put their foot down and go after their true heart's desires. Nine of Wands, right at the heart. This is you finally saying no to all this nonsense. See, here you are. You're not even in the fight anymore. You've removed yourself and you're standing back. Right? You got a bandage on your head. You're like, I don't want to live this life anymore. This isn't for me. I just heard chaos is erupting. So I feel that this is speaking about the cycles that you're leaving now and how they're no longer going to be what you've always known, so to speak. You removing yourself has completely changed the dynamic. It's as if there's this false reality that was created around your life to keep you stuck inside a karmic cycle. I mean, this is really, speaking about the simulation, the matrix. You almost start to feel like everything inside your reality was scripted to keep you stuck. When you start awakening, there's many different levels to awakening. It's something that we go through our entire life. But when you go through the awakening process, that is what floods through. You start to see that there is very much a matrix around us, that we are in a kind of simulation, that we are heavily mind controlled on a daily basis. Just about everything we consume is at war with us. What do we have at the throat, please? Eight of Pentacles, Virgo energy at the throat. And here you are. You've crossed the threshold. Look at all this resistance, all this action, movement, and then you arrive. I just heard speaking your truth. For some of you, that's speaking on you now functioning inside of the space of purpose. It's like, here you are, working away. I just heard you are a master of your craft. This is in your future. This is you engaging with what you came here to do, whatever that is. Nine of Wands to the Eight of Pentacles. 5, 9, 8. This is all about encouragement. The divine is trying to encourage you, sending you downloads that this is the correct path. You have free will, so you don't have to do this. But it would be really great if you did, because this goes beyond just you. This has a massive effect on the collective as a whole. Each one of us is going through this in some capacity. We all play an incremental role in how things shift and how things ebb and flow. So it's very important that you're able to overcome the distractions, the attacks, or pull yourself out of it when you're being guided to. That's what all of us came here to do. The most important thing you can do is to get in alignment with your spirit team, get on track, and get working inside your purpose. Everything outside of that is a distraction, is the enemy trying to keep you from working inside of this space. I always say the devil only has to take a few minutes from you to get a win, because we only get so many. The devil is hungry for those life clock minutes. One day away from working inside of this space is a huge win for the devil. Because when you think about it in terms of this being collective wide, so say the devil is able to keep a whole bunch of you out of engaging with your purpose for a day. Think about the impact that that has on the collective. That's a shift that doesn't take place. See, each time one of us starts engaging with our purpose, our vibration goes up. When a whole bunch of us are inside of that space, we can influence the collective vibration, the Earth's vibration. Now, when a very, very large group of us worldwide is able to pull this off, this is when we start shifting the Earth's vibration and we start winning the war. We're pulling ourselves out of the dark ages. There's many levels to this sort of micro to macro perspective that's playing out here. You being the micro, the collective being the macro. But if you simply understand that each one of you is so incredibly important, more important than you can possibly begin to understand, and we need you to be going after these true heart's desires, the better off we'll all be. What do we have at the third eye, please? Ace of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy in reverse at the third eye. So this is detailing what I just spoke on. As you can see here in its upright, here's the divine showing you, hey, Sag, come this way, come down this path. You can see the pinnacles of success right there. We're going to support you. We're going to make sure you have everything you need, but you must come down this path now. But it's coming out in reverse, and it's at the third eye position. This is representing the devil and all his minions trying to keep you from this. It's an energy of delays, you missing out on opportunities. This is what you're in danger of getting. Should you not get on that connecting flight, Sag, as you can see, that is a pentagram. This is you going the opposite way from your intended path. So whatever it is that you are being presented with right now, Sag, whatever major decision that you need to make in your life right now is coming up right here in this reading. All I can tell you is what you've always had, what you've always known is not the way to go. Stepping into the unknown, going towards what you've never had is the way to go. This Ace of Pentacles in reverse at the third eye is also speaking about individuals trying to tell you that you're making a bad decision, that you have poor judgment. They're trying to block you from listening to your intuition. Third eye, trying to color how you see your reality. Third eye, trying to stop you from seeing beyond the physical and reaching into the spiritual by way of your intuition to navigate your path forward. Third eye. The way you stop your third eye from becoming blocked, Sag, is by shutting out the noise and listening to your intuition and going after this vision that you see so clearly for your life. Because even though you can't see it with the naked eye yet, it is right in front of you. You just have to reach out and grab it. What do we have at the crown, please? Oh, wow. The Fool. And the Tower also popped up right there. Very similar energy I'm getting off both cards. This is you stepping out on faith. That Tower, it's all about you breaking free of any sort of false securities. It's an energy of revelation. Here you are looking up at the divine. Stepping into the unknown. Card 0, the Fool. This is the beginning of the new life cycle. Wheel of Fortune to the Fool. That tells a story right there. There's a whole new beginning here, Sag, but you got to take a chance. Take a chance on yourself. What do we have at the foundation, please? Queen of Swords, Andrelphus, at the foundation of the reading. I read this Queen of Swords in its shadow polarity. This is the pathological liar of the tarot. This is somebody who's selling you a dream, Sag. For some of you, you're preparing to leave something, let's just say, move on from something. And now this energy is coming through like, oh, Sag, let me just sweeten the deal. Something like this. This could be an ex, it could be a family member, it could be anybody. But it's as if this person is trying to pile something on. They could be trying to pile emotion on, but they're trying to use things to persuade you from moving forward. But you have to understand that inside this toxic karmic cycle you are leaving behind lives and breathes some very narcissistic energies that are draining you of your life force. They need you. This energetic supply. This is what this is all about. You are the sacrifice. And without you there to sacrifice, their world of horrors starts to crumble. For some of you, this may be actually something you're starting to see now. You're starting to see the reaction of these individuals merely by you wanting to go after a better life. Nobody wishing you well. Instead, just utilizing different tactics to stop your movement forward. Don't believe this, Sag. Make no mistake. This was ordered by the devil himself. And nothing that they try and offer you will even come close to what you have waiting for you in this new cycle with this Fool at the crown. This is a promise from the divine. This is a deal from the devil. Don't sell yourself out. What do we have at the sacral, please? Two of Pentacles, Capricorn energy, Ammon. Reveals the past and the future, reconciles friends and enemies. It just gives me this energy of going back to an old cycle. There's a lot of disorder and instability. It could even be people from your past trying to come back into your life. All of a sudden, just coming out of the woodwork. That's what this astrological transit brings. Like I said, the devil's going to send his minions any way he has to. And as I'm looking at this card, it looks like he's got a broken wrist, right? Like he's hurt. Like, oh, Sag, you can't go. I've hurt myself. I need somebody to help me. It's like, wait, Sag, I've hurt myself. You need to stay now. It's just an energy of jumping onto your path and making up excuses or stories or presenting you with distractions. It's like you don't take the offer and then all of a sudden they have a broken wrist. These are just examples of what I'm getting here. I'm hearing things surrounding individuals faking illness. I even just heard somebody faking some sort of terminal illness. That's really what these two cards represent. And it's right underneath that Wheel of Fortune and Knight of Swords. What do we have? The solar plexus? Page of Swords, Bootus. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. What a card to follow everything we just said here. This Page of Swords is a very immature energy. It's also somebody who is all talk, no action. They make a lot of promises, but they don't deliver upon those promises. And I'm thinking about the Ouroboros snake, right? Which is the snake devouring its own tail. It's like you've left that karmic cycle, which that actual symbol can be a symbol for a karmic cycle. It's just a repeating pattern in your life. You've broken free of that. So you've essentially taken the snake's tail out of its mouth, spiritually speaking. You're no longer in that cycle. So now here it comes. Trying to find you, re-engage you in the cycle by any means necessary is what I just heard so clearly. A lot of these people could be fighting with each other as well. It's like you're standing back watching them. Like, how could you let Sag get away? This kind of energy. And you're like, what the hell? What do you mean, get away? You mean to tell me I was trapped? See, this is this perspective shift you're having now. You start to have this awakening, and you look back over a large period of your life, and you see that you very much were a kind of prisoner. This is really what awakening and ascension is like. You feel imprisoned by the life you once lived or the person you once were, because you understand that a large portion of yourself was asleep to your environment. What do we have at the heart, please? And there it is. Let's start here first. So we have Andromalius, 7 of Swords, Aquarius energy at the heart, right underneath that 9 of Wands. So here they are jumping in front of you, right? No, Sag, you can't go. And 7 of Swords is all about you breaking free of something. It's you catching these individuals, which speaks about the perspective shift. You just see them in a completely different light now. This is you starting to see yourself as a kind of prisoner, right? Like I said, you're breaking free. But it's also an energy of overcoming some sort of mental challenges, which really speaks about being asleep, right? So again, it just completely followed what I just said. You know, this card right here, it says despair. I feel like this is representative of this energy here. There's this energy of desperation. This person's standing there with no clothes on. So it's like they've been stripped bare. You just see them now for who they really are. They can't hide anymore. And then this is what this is all about, Sag. Mamma mia. Scorpio energy. Pluto. Endings and rebirth. Pluto at 0 degrees Aquarius. Wow. What a combination to represent this astrological transit. Here they are, trying to stand in your way. Pluto at 0 degrees Aquarius. Stop you from moving into this new life cycle. This is you rising out of the ashes of the past. This is you moving on, stepping into alignment with the divine's true will for your life. It's all here. Everything I've said in this reading has been followed with multiple confirmations. What do we have at the throat, please? And again, the death card, back to back. Mamma mia. God, the end of the universe. Endings and rebirth. Influences, health, and longevity. A death to the old. The end of this particular reality. The end of the universe. Everything will be different from this point forward, whatever that represents in your life. For most of you, it comes down to a decision. This is major Phoenix rising out of the ashes energy here. This is what this card represents, and we got it back to back from two different decks. It's time to shed your old skin, Sag. Let go of what no longer serves you and step into alignment with where the divine needs you. What do we have at the third eye, please? Three of Cups. Cancer energy at the third eye. EIL, the right hand of God. Fame and renown, influences commerce, voyages, and great discoveries. You have a lot of spiritual support around you, Sag, and you have a lot of protection because you've been putting the work in. I'm also getting this message with this Three of Cups at the third eye, surrounding you putting this idea of yourself and the life you were supposed to be living to rest, because that was all based off of that old story that never really aligned with you anyway. It was something that you just kind of settled for. And this is you now going after the real story for your life and who you are. That thing that was buried years, for some of you decades ago, by life and all the circumstances and events that comes with living inside the matrix. It was pushed so far down inside of you, Sag, so you would forget what you actually came here to do. And this is what's unearthing itself from the deep recesses of your subconscious mind and demanding that you take the power back and get on that connecting flight. What do we have at the crown to close this out for Sag? Too many cards. What do we have at the crown, please? What do we got? Oh, unbelievable. Six of Swords, Aquarius energy at the crown to close out the reading. Annuel, the gentle god, perception of unity, protects against accidents, heals the sick. Sag, the Six of Swords is all about a rite of passage, okay? This is the card of transitioning on, relocation, moving, whatever it is for you. This is the card of you getting on that connecting flight. If I were to pick one card to represent you getting on the connecting flight, it would have been the Six of Swords. And I think that any tarot reader who's listening to this would agree. This is your passage forward. This is a very deep, yet very clear reading, Sag. But I certainly hope that I was able to provide you with some encouragement and a little peek into what you can look forward to once you step into this timeline and get moving. Sag, this is the message I have available to you, depending on where you are on this timeline, should you choose to accept. I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you would like a personal reading, you can find all of my contact details in the description below this video, and thank you for your donation, Sag. Take care.